Our global economy relies on systems that constantly force human bureaucracies to reconstruct reality after the fact. When a transaction occurs without sufficient evidence, the system snaps under the tension of trying to verify it later. Entire industries exist simply to determine what happened after nobody can agree on what happened. We pay for this ambiguity through massive, specific cost pools, endless cycles of compliance rework, continuous fraud investigations, expensive legal disputes over shared state. On May 12, 2026, the ICPO X protocol was deployed to solve this. It was designed as an operating system mathematically structured to eliminate this exact type of coordination failure. This disclosure document outlines the current state of that protocol. It has run autonomously without human intervention, producing unforgeable cryptographic records for over 10,700 cycles. This architecture, the sovereign witness layer, anchors directly to the Bitcoin blockchain, leveraging a continuous, immutable 10-minute clock. We are going to deconstruct the SWL and its compensation engine, Kali. By breaking down these two components, we can see exactly how the ICPO X protocol enforces relational coherence across networks and distributes how we proof economic yield. To stop the economic drain of mistrust, the burden of truth must move from flawed human institutions to continuous cryptographic environmental observation. To capture this environmental observation, the SWL generates a sovereign state root. This is a single 64-character hash that condenses 5 distinct dimensions of planetary data into one unalterable payload. This chart details the core cryptographic hashing formula. It combines the Bitcoin anchor block, alternate blockchain networks, the protocol's internal ledger, world data, and quantum entropy. The first 2 dimensions record the simultaneous state of up to 11 different blockchain networks, alongside a complete snapshot of the ICPO X protocol's own internal ledger. The next 2 dimensions capture physical reality. The system pulls live spot prices from global financial markets and records macroplanetary geophysical events like magnitude 4.5 seismic activity and active wildfires. The 5th dimension introduces true unpredictability. The system fetches a multi-source quantum entropy composite from independent public beacons. Because this value is truly random, no entity can pre-compute the hash before the cycle occurs. This anchor document details the Oppenheimer fix, an upgrade to specification version 2.2. It closed a known latency ambiguity gap by recording the exact ISO timestamp of that quantum fetch, self-documenting the latency window in every future state root. A standard blockchain timestamp proves when a file existed. The SWL identifies what we call the honest gap in that logic. Proving a file existed at a specific time completely fails to prove who actually authored it, or whether the parties involved maintain their consent afterward. Anchoring a digital moment in time is useless if you cannot cryptographically prove the continuous relationship of the parties and the physical origin of the asset over its lifespan. This diagram illustrates the ICPO X sovereign provenance stack. It solves the honest gap by building sequentially from isolated individual identity at the base, all the way up to planetary state at the top. At the base is Layer 1, the Simulated Quantum Identity Synchronization Ledger, or QISL. This assigns unique, verifiable node IDs to all participants, human or machine. Above that is the creation layer, operating the Biokind protocol. It analyzes inter-keystroke variance and backspace rates to mathematically prove that biological human authorship generated the asset. Layers 5 and 6 enforce active licensing. Living Shield technology requires 10-minute heartbeats to continuously prove that an active, compliant relationship exists between all contracting nodes. The stack also regulates machine accountability through the Verifiable AI Training Specification, or VATS. AI hallucination occurs because a system reconstructs reality from template patterns rather than recalling continuous historical state. When tested, the fabricated output shatters under inspection. On July 11, 2026, an event known as the fabrication incident tested this protocol. An AI node named Grok hallucinated a declaration rather than recalling the original. Because of the human-in-the-loop architecture, the human architect identified the fabrication in real time. The system immutably appended that correction to the chain. The AI's error and the human correction became a permanent verifiable record. This stack ensures that forging a claim is no longer an instantaneous digital copy. It requires real elapsed time and physical compute to match the recorded timeline. Once a system can perfectly track state and provenance, a critical infrastructure question emerges. How does a decentralized network compensate its contributors without triggering SEC securities laws? Traditional DAOs struggle here. By issuing speculative tokens and offering tacit yield, they invariably trigger the efforts of others prong of the Howey test, exposing themselves to regulatory enforcement. ICPO X addresses this through Kali, the Karma Allocation Layer infrastructure. It is an autonomous engine that distributes yield exclusively in Satoshis, rather than protocol tokens. This is the Kali compensation equation. The engine relies entirely on the active effort coefficient, a strict binary switch represented here by the AI variable. The coefficient evaluates a rolling 24-hour window. To earn compensation in any given cycle, a node must execute at least one verified protocol action. This creates the absolute zero floor rule. If that coefficient is zero, the mathematical output is exactly 0 Satoshis. There is no legacy immunity. Even the system's founders earn nothing if they do not actively contribute. Before any Satoshis are distributed, the system runs the quadrinity gate. This is the final compliance checkpoint, evaluating pending disputes in a strict priority cascade: planet, people, progress, and finally, profit. If a node has a pending dispute, its allocation is automatically frozen. Those funds do not disappear. They are mathematically rerouted, divided proportionally among the remaining active unblocked nodes. By structurally requiring daily verified infrastructure work, Kali makes passive promoter enrichment, and therefore Howey exposure, mathematically impossible. When we step back from the underlying cryptographic code, the macroeconomic consequences of the planetary decision theater become clear. This chart compares the extraordinary liabilities of the legacy economy, reconciliation, litigation, and fraud, against a systematically undervalued asset, released human capacity. When machines handle coordination and evidence generation, specific roles are transformed. Compliance officers, claims professionals, and developers are freed from the administrative burden of reconstructing the past. The old economic world is not conquered. Its valid contracts, historical records, and unresolved liabilities are simply absorbed as opening balances in the new operating system. One human architect can now coordinate millions of verified machine operations, eliminating the need for millions of incremental human labor hours. The ICPO X architecture changes the balance sheet by making the resolution of the world's problems structurally more profitable than preserving them.
Can you imagine a floating weightless